You got to record on the iPhone now? What happened to the camcorder, Jeff?
This is a little flip cam. This thing is amazing.
Flip?
Yeah.
It's an HD flip?
Yeah. It's like 80 bucks and you plug it right in on the USB thing, goes right into YouTube, and bam, like it is, you're done. My my quality of life just went from here to here. It's great.
Nice.
All right, folks, from Cliff Castle Casino. Welcome to Shake, Rattle, and Bowl, the title matches of today's JBT event, a season opener in Arizona. Season number 15, if you can believe that. And here's a guy whose family, at least, has been around since the very early seasons. It's Brian Weyrauch. And thank you, Brian. 9 out to start off the title match. Somebody is going to win their first singles title. Brian's opponent is Zach Martinez. Zach has been knocking on the door of that first JBT title. See if he can break through with that initial win right here. Brian has one JBT title, it's a doubles title. So see who can get off the schneid here. Playing the deep inside line on the house pattern today. Lots of hook. And just a pinch too much hooks. He comes up high and leaves the 4. House pattern, like I just said, minus 12 cuts, so just about a 198 average to qualify for the top half today. Zach, the number 2 seed, just got done disposing of Kyle King in the semifinals. That was a big win for him there to get over that hurdle. Play off the strike line, hook it into the 4, nice opening spare and the early lead because of it. So yeah, Zach had never beaten Kyle King in a stepladder match prior to 10 minutes ago. So that was a huge mental and physical hurdle to get over. Beat him 222 to 208 to advance here to the title match. Zach was back and forth in and out of the lead today. He led the early rounds off of the morning squad. And scatters him there. He's into it, little fist bump. He may be intense on the lanes, but he's one of the goofiest kids I've ever met off the lanes. Try and catch a little bit of personality off him here. Brian of the Bowling Weyrauchs, big brother Chris and second big brother Jeff, all
come on, Brian.
Too old for this now. And there's a splat. 8 on the deck, still counts as a strike. Speaking of, there's one big brother Jeff, and the Milmeyer making an appearance in JBT video for the first time in a while. Odd thing, remember, we're not really a youth tour, we're not an adult tour, we're an under 21 tour, so this guy actually subbed for me in league last Monday. Compete for only scholarship prizes. As long as you're under 21 and not a pro, you can come down and bowl. Do this with us. Try and get an early double here. Yeah, nice shot there. So the other early double makes up for the open and essentially ties this match back up again. Thanks to this lady and the whole staff here at Cliff Castle for hosting us. They always do a fantastic job up here in northern Arizona. The beautiful, cool hills of northern Arizona. Only, what, about 95 out there today as opposed to 105 down south. Regains the lead with the double. He's walking it out. Yeah, he must have liked that off his hand. Zach, a developing player. Took his lumps early on tour, then started making cuts pretty consistently, then started making top 5s pretty consistently. We got a developing storyline here. That's Zach's sister, Brooke, off camera to the left here, trying to stay alive against Stephen Acuff, the winner of that, to play Megan LaPrell for the Handicap division title. Right around the 4th arrow. Needs it to hold this time. Wow, nice break to avoid the split. Not the big power game that we see out of a lot of juniors today, but more of that in-between game, which can be really, really effective. More than enough power to carry the pins, but not so much power that you're spraying it all over the place. A nice combination of accuracy and power, but look out. And there's a mental error as he slides by, hooks by rather, the relatively easy 4-7. I'm going to see most of the players go hard and straight at those spares. Zach elected to still use the hook ball, and that time paid the price for it. Brian has one title, like we talked about. It's the doubles out in New Mexico. I forget who his doubles partner was for that win. Yeah, think about that for a while.
Come on, Brian!
Yeah, nice ball there. Brian was hanging around near the top of the leaderboard all day long and then had a big semifinal set to jump into the lead. He's got the left side all to himself. I don't think was there any other lefty in scratch today? Rebecca. There are very few lefties. So if he can find a groove, his shot's going to last longer than the righties. Really advantage him at this point, I would think. But we'll see how it plays out. Working on the triple right now.
Come on!
Oh! Well, I've been the kiss of death so far on him. Every time I see something nice, something bad happens. That was a pretty good shot to leave the 6-8. We'll see what he... So he's got two options here. A, does he hook and go hard and straight? And B, are you just going to get to the pin or you're going to make a chance to go for it? If you go for it, you run the risk of missing them both.
Get it, Brian!
I like the strategy there. Hard and straight. Make sure of at least the one. If you happen to make it both as a bonus. That gives him 95 through 5, and as a result of that open, Martinez retakes the 1-pin lead. Back and forth we go here. A pretty good scratch title match. Right back here at Cliff Castle tomorrow, then down to Kyrene at the end of the month. The usual Arizona conference schedule. That one's way wide. Boy, and way back. My goodness. That one a good 5 boards further right at the break point, and that's what a house shot does for you. It gives you friction to the right, and that ball comes roaring back and scatters the pins. You're not going to see that tomorrow. We're going to bowl in a much more challenging pattern tomorrow. So watch the subtle differences on camera with what we record tomorrow. And that ball will be 7 at best tomorrow. Today that's 10. We're going to bowl on Middle Road, which is literally that, right in the middle of degree of difficulty of all the Kegel patterns. Further right again. See how that time he didn't catch it at all. See, that ball just didn't pick up any rotation. And now he's got himself a washout to look at. So after regaining that 1-pin lead, he's going to give it right back to Brian unless he picks up this 1-2-4-10. Very makeable for a bowler of Zach's ability. Get that ball to the left of the 1, drive the 1 into the 10, maintain your lead if so. Going to switch to plastic to do it. It's close. Just like that. Nice conversion. For scratch JBT bowler, that's at least a 50-50 spare for him, and good enough right there. 1-pin lead through 6 frames as a result. Brian, a little bit more hook than you see out of some left-handers. You see he's standing way far right on the lanes. I think he's going to actually drift a little left. A little right of the 3rd arrow out to about 6 or 7. Didn't quite finish up into the pocket that time. Half 7's the result. And we'll keep it at a 1-pin match if he spares it up. Yeah, so if you didn't hear off camera yet, that was my final title. I won with Brian. I rode Brian to that title, without a doubt.
Attaboy!
I think Brian averaged about 40 pins higher than me that whole tournament. And then we had 11 out of 12 strikes in the title match. Who had the 1 miss? That guy. So. well, we tried. No problems at all in the 7-pin. This is 7. Oh, wow. Just a bit outside there. Same sort of thing that happened to Zach on that lane. He just didn't catch that ball at all. Ball doesn't react down lane. Lucky to not wash out though. Much easier, obviously, to not have that 7. So we'll cover up this spare. Megan, we're all set for you, darling. Megan? Oh well. We'll see him make the spare, then we'll cut for a second and be back with the conclusion of this match.